Renegade Immortal Episode 63. Wang Lin returned to the Sea of Devil Cultivation to seize the Immortal Qi. Unexpectedly, he encountered the mysterious old man who had placed a restriction on him. Upon seeing Wang Lin at the spirit transformation stage, the old man was so frightened he almost went to see his great-grandmother. Continuing from where we left off, as everyone knows, the appearance of the Rain Summit signifies the imminent opening of the Heavenly Dao. However, to compete for the precious Immortal Qi, Wang Lin, after leaving Jiao, had to temporarily postpone his plan to return to the Chu Kingdom. It must be said that Wang Lin hasn't gone back to see Suzuki Wan. Getting back to the main story, because Wang Lin currently lacks magical treasures, he must completely refine the Jin Fan to ensure his success in obtaining the Immortal Qi. But refining the Jin Fan is bound to attract heavenly tribulation. Therefore, Wang Lin decided to go to the forbidden land of the ancient gods in the Sea of Devil Cultivation. Only there can he safely refine the Jin Fan to completion. In addition, he also plans to capture a desolate beast within the ancient gods' passage to refine an even more powerful demonic entity. If this trip is successful and he obtains the Immortal Qi, Wang Lin is expected to break through to the Yin transformation stage. In this way, he can not only awaken the sleeping Satanan, but even possibly revive his deceased parents. Then, Wang Lin rode his wind beast and swiftly headed towards the Sea of Devil Cultivation. During the flight, although the spiritual power fluctuations generated by him and the wind beast were extremely strong, the cultivators within the Sea of Devil Cultivation, after sensing his cultivation level and the might of the wind beast, all withdrew their divine senses, not daring to disturb them. However, as Wang Lin flew over a city, a seemingly scruffy old man pointed at Wang Lin in the sky and said to a young cultivator at the foundation establishment stage, "Little brother, although you have purple light permeating your body, without the guidance of an expert, I'm afraid you'll never reach core formation." See that? Back then, this little guy was just at the nascent soul stage, and after just a few words of guidance from me, he reached the spirit transformation stage. If you don't believe me, I'll call him down to prove it. However, after hearing this, the young cultivator snorted coldly and said, "Get lost, old man, or I'll break your legs." Wang Lin finally arrived at the inner sea of the Sea of Devil Cultivation. To avoid the divine sense detection of Tuosin, he wore the straw hat given to him by the scruffy old man. After making all the necessary preparations, Wang Lin dared to fly towards the shattered star chaos. Under the protection of the straw hat's golden light, Wang Lin's journey was safe and sound. But just as he was about to reach the shattered star chaos, an old man riding a black tortoise desolate beast appeared before Wang Lin's eyes. The image of this person flashed through Wang Lin's mind. It was indeed the spirit transformation cultivator who had placed a restriction within him and intended to take him as a disciple. The old man also saw Wang Lin. He immediately released his divine sense to investigate, but it was instantly repelled by the golden light emanating from Wang Lin's straw hat. This scene caused the old man's heart to tremble. Someone possessing such a magical treasure was definitely not someone he could provoke. After a moment of contemplation, he didn't make a sound, but flew directly eastward. Wang Lin didn't linger and also flew eastward, because that was where the shattered star chaos was located. For a spirit transformation cultivator who had mastered the art of teleportation, it was only a matter of hours. Soon after, Wang Lin arrived at the periphery of the shattered star chaos and found the old man there as well. Wang Lin didn't make any excessive movements, just glanced at the other party indifferently and found a spot to sit down and begin cultivating. Although Wang Lin appeared calm on the surface, his divine sense remained vigilant, constantly observing the old man's movements, secretly wondering what the old man's purpose was. The old man suddenly said, "Fellow Taoist, since you're here, you must also be here to collect the Aurora Fire Threads. Why don't we join forces?" Hearing Aurora Fire Threads, Wang Lin's heart stirred. In the memories of the ancient god Tu-Si, there was no such record. Moreover, since Wang Lin entered the world of cultivation, he had never heard of such a thing. Despite this, Wang Lin didn't show any unusual expression, simply replying in a hoarse voice that he wasn't interested in teaming up. Hearing this, the old man snorted softly and said no more, riding his beast and entering the shattered star chaos. Suddenly, a power transcending the laws of the heavenly Tao surged forth. The surrounding rubble seemed to be summoned, quickly gathering to form several clones identical to the old man. However, the old man seemed prepared. He took out more than 10 jade talismans. After the jade talismans shattered, they also transformed into several clones and began battling the rubble clones. Taking advantage of the chaos of the battle, the old man easily broke through the ring-shaped rubble zone. And those clones formed from the rubble could only roar in frustration behind him. Seeing this, Wang Lin didn't show any surprise. Wang Lin released his wind beast to forage freely. The old man reappeared, this time accompanied by 7 meridian-like threads that resembled dragons. He tossed a golden thread to Wang Lin and said, "Fellow Taoist, this fire thread is for you." Wang Lin's expression remained calm. He raised his right hand slightly. The intent of life and death circulated within his nascent soul. The golden thread, which was originally somewhat violent, now became extremely docile, wrapping around his fingertip. After a moment of silence, Wang Lin responded in a slightly hoarse voice, "I am unworthy of such a gift." Through the reaction of the golden thread, the old man was certain that Wang Lin was a highly cultivated spirit transformation cultivator. Because the Aurora Fire Thread was born from heaven and earth and specifically devoured nascent souls. Only a stabilized nascent soul could resist it. The old man paused and said, "Since fellow Taoist has no intention of teaming up, then I won't disturb you any longer." With that, he patted his beast and rode off on the clouds. Wang Lin held the golden thread in his hand, filled with curiosity. Just as he was about to put it into his storage bag, the wind beast suddenly flew back from afar and landed on the stone beside him. Its gaze was fixed on the golden thread in Wang Lin's hand. Its eyes held both fear and greed. It seemed to want to approach, but hesitated. As Wang Lin was about to put the golden thread given by the old man into his storage bag, he noticed the wind beast staring intently at the thread, with a look of both fear and longing in its eyes. Wang Lin immediately understood. He poured out the intent of death from within him, concentrating it into the golden thread. The golden thread withered. Wang Lin tossed it towards the wind beast. The wind beast, showing delight, swiftly flew forward, merging with the thread. Although it seemed to be in some pain initially, after a while, not only did the wind beast's body grow larger, but its surface also shimmered with a golden light. The wind beast had grown to an enormous size, like a small mountain. It turned out that this Aurora Fire Thread devoured nascent souls, using them as nourishment to continuously grow. The golden thread was essentially a refining material. Usually, only spirit transformation cultivators could freely manipulate it, and demonic beasts often avoided it. Fortunately, with the weakening effect of Wang Lin's intent of life and death, the wind beast, being at the great circle of nascent soul, was able to devour it without any issues. Wang Lin stored the wind beast in his storage bag and plunged into the depths of the shattered star chaos. Relying on the inheritance and the intent of life and death, he quickly emerged. But when Wang Lin arrived at the entrance to the land of the ancient gods, the wind beast flew out on its own, letting out joyful cries. Wang Lin's thoughts stirred. He scanned the surroundings with his divine sense and discovered a small spatial rift. A golden thread, emitting a golden light, was emerging from the rift. Wang Lin immediately understood the wind beast's intentions. He smiled and said, "What, one wasn't enough?" The wind beast nodded repeatedly, a flattering expression on its face. Wang Lin chuckled. Wang Lin went to the rift and started collecting the golden threads for the wind beast. But just as he captured a thread, the spatial rift began to shrink. Wang Lin's eyes flashed. He immediately sat down cross-legged. His nascent soul shot out of his body and quickly dived into the rift. Inside the rift was a strange space filled with golden hairs. Not far away, a luminous object like the sun had countless golden threads dancing around it. Wang Lin didn't hesitate and quickly grabbed dozens of golden threads. At the last moment before the rift closed, he escaped. He used the intent of life and death to weaken the vitality of the golden threads and gave them all to the wind beast. The wind beast's eyes lit up with excitement as it eagerly devoured the threads. However, the number of golden threads was vast, and the wind beast couldn't fully absorb them quickly. Therefore, Wang Lin decided to leave the wind beast there while he entered the land of the ancient gods. Wang Lin arrived outside the passage to the first level. He sat down and took out the Magian stone to begin refining the Jin Fan. This time, he was refining a Jin Fan with a single attack attribute. As time passed, more and more attack restrictions were added. When he added the 99th restriction, just one short of completion, Wang Lin hesitated. He was worried about the heavenly tribulation triggered by refining it further. If this Jin Fan couldn't be preserved, then he would only have one Magian stone left. If it were damaged, he would have to return to the Chu kingdom to use Ling Wan's incomplete Jin Fan. However, the gate of the heavenly Tao was about to open, and time was of the essence. If he couldn't even refine a lesser Jin Fan, he would lose an important trump card during his journey to the immortal realm. After weighing the pros and cons, Wang Lin made up his mind. Gritting his teeth, he added the final restriction. Suddenly, traces of primordial aura emanated from the Jin Fan. His thoughts stirred. He probed the surroundings and found that the heavenly tribulation from Qilin City hadn't descended there. This Jin Fan, focused on a single attack attribute, was dozens of times more powerful than the previous multi-attribute Jin Fan. Although this came at the cost of sacrificing 9 sets of restrictions, it allowed him to use a technique called Near Neighbor. This technique could create a void domain devoid of spiritual energy within a certain range. Within this domain, except for cultivators who had absorbed Immortal Qi, everyone else would temporarily lose their spiritual power. This discovery made Wang Lin much more confident about his upcoming journey to the immortal realm. It also strengthened his resolve to study the Tao of restrictions in the future. Even a lesser Jin Fan displayed such astonishing power. If he could refine a 1,000-layered Jin Fan in the future, even in transformation stage cultivators would be wary of it. Wang Lin added another 18 restrictions before putting the Jin Fan away and flying towards the depths of the passage. Wang Lin's goal was to subdue a high-grade spirit beast. Although he couldn't control a desolate beast yet, a high-grade spirit beast's strength was equivalent to a spirit transformation cultivator. Fortunately, Wang Lin still had the Hunyuan Beast Control Ring, the magical treasure he had swindled from several ancient cultivators. Its main function was to control spirit beasts for a short period, though the process required a large amount of spiritual energy. To successfully enter the gate of the heavenly Tao and obtain Immortal Qi, Wang Lin had made ample preparations. Successfully subduing a high-grade spirit beast would undoubtedly provide powerful assistance for his journey to the immortal realm. So, Wang Lin continued to descend, his divine sense spreading out, carefully searching. But strangely, he hadn't found a single trace of a spirit beast. At his current location, he had seen quite a few spirit beasts before. Now, they had all vanished. Wang Lin felt suspicious. After a moment of thought, he decided to continue exploring downwards. He arrived at the place where he had fallen from the Jiao. Stopping on a boulder, Wang Lin looked down into the pitch black. He knew that if he went any further down, he would likely enter the territory of desolate beasts. Wang Lin returned to the land of the ancient gods to refine the Jin Fan, but unexpectedly encountered the Jiao Dragon again. The Jiao Dragon immediately stated that the previously offered spinal fluid wasn't enough and demanded a high-grade spirit beast as additional tribute. As everyone knows, spirit beasts in the immortal realm are divided into 4 levels, each corresponding to different realms of human cultivators. A high-grade spirit beast is equivalent to a human cultivator at the spirit transformation stage. So how did the Jiao Dragon deliver a high-grade spirit beast into Wang Lin's hands? After refining the lesser Jin Fan, Wang Lin arrived at the heart of the ancient god's passage. His goal was to subdue a high-grade spirit beast, adding an important asset for his journey to the immortal realm. However, as he explored, he didn't encounter any spirit beasts. He soon reached the place where the Jiao Dragon had fallen. Wang Lin stopped because below was the territory of desolate beasts. No matter how much he desired a spirit beast, he wouldn't act recklessly near a desolate beast, whose strength was comparable to a cultivator at the great circle of the spirit transformation stage. Just as Wang Lin was about to leave, a red Jiao Dragon shot out from below. It was the same desolate beast that had given him the spinal fluid. Startled, Wang Lin was about to flee when he suddenly stopped. He saw that in front of the Jiao Dragon, a green toad was desperately trying to escape. The Jiao Dragon was in hot pursuit. Wang Lin hid and observed. Just as the Jiao Dragon was about to catch the toad emitted a dazzling green light, condensing into a ball of lightning that shot towards the Jiao Dragon. The Jiao Dragon quickly dodged, clearly wary. Wang Lin's heart trembled. For a moment, he felt the same fear he experienced when facing heavenly tribulation. He thought, this toad is probably also a desolate beast. However, after unleashing the lightning, the toad weakened. That attack had exhausted its strength. It stopped on a boulder with a look of despair. Wang Lin knew that battles between desolate beasts weren't decided by a single attack. He speculated that this toad was very likely the high-grade spirit beast he was looking for. Just as the Jiao Dragon was about to defeat the toad, Wang Lin flashed forward and threw out the Hunyuan beast control ring, shouting, "If you want to live, don't struggle." The toad, hearing Wang Lin's words, jumped into the ring. Instantly, the toad and Wang Lin disappeared, leaving behind only the Jiao Dragon's angry roars. Wang Lin, carrying the toad, arrived at the entrance of the land of the ancient gods. He quickly swallowed several medicinal pills and sat down cross-legged, circulating his cultivation technique. Sensing its master's aura, the wind beast rushed over. The two beasts met, and the atmosphere became tense. A battle was imminent. The toad's tongue shot out like lightning, aiming for the wind beast. The wind beast dodged and retaliated fiercely with its breath. The toad was undeterred, a mocking look in its eyes. A green bolt of lightning crackled in its belly and blasted towards the wind beast. Just then, Wang Lin abruptly opened his eyes and shouted, "Enough." The toad withdrew its lightning. Although the wind beast glared angrily at the toad, it didn't dare to approach, recognizing the difference in their power. Through the beast control ring, Wang Lin learned that the toad was named Lei Wa and was skilled in the power of lightning. It was indeed a high-grade spirit beast. After calming both beasts, Wang Lin continued to cultivate, recovering the spiritual energy he had nearly exhausted while subduing Lei Wa. After 6 days, Wang Lin recovered. He stored Lei Wa in the beast control ring and prepared to leave. However, the wind beast suddenly wailed, attracting Wang Lin's attention. He followed the wind beast to the place where the golden threads had appeared. Several rifts had appeared again. Wang Lin's thoughts stirred, and his nascent soul entered the rift. He grabbed dozens of golden threads and was about to leave when he realized something was wrong. From the golden sun-like circle, an object much thicker than the other golden threads flew out, charging towards him. Wang Lin didn't hesitate. He grabbed dozens of smaller golden threads and ran, the wind beast following closely behind. A deafening roar came from behind them. The rift expanded, and the giant golden thread burst out, chasing Wang Lin. However, within the limited space of the shattered star chaos, Wang Lin escaped. The golden thread, wary of the shattered star chaos, stopped its pursuit. Wang Lin understood. The large number of golden threads he had taken attracted this behemoth, seemingly the progenitor of the golden threads. Perhaps this was why the old man only dared to capture 7 before leaving. After reaching safety, Wang Lin weakened the golden threads and gave them to the wind beast. Nourished by these, the wind beast's advancement to a high-grade spirit beast was imminent. Wang Lin took out a small, seemingly ordinary cauldron. This was his key to the immortal realm, the Rain Summit Cauldron. It had no patterns or designs, yet it emanated an aura far surpassing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, Immortal Qi. This aura was too thin for cultivation, serving only as a guide to open the gate of the immortal realm. Wang Lin had studied the cauldron many times since obtaining it. Many years had passed, but the day of the heavenly Tao still showed no signs of arriving. He hadn't been told the specific date. Wang Lin sighed and leaped onto the wind beast, galloping towards the Huafan country. He planned to go to the outer battlefield to collect wandering souls to refine demonic entities, all in preparation for his journey to the immortal realm. The gate of the immortal realm is about to open. Please give us a like and subscribe. We'll continue in the next episode.